that Jesus Christ founded a church, and the church is the custodian of the Bible, and the Bible should be interpreted in the light of the church's teaching. And therefore, I have investigated what are the criteria for interpreting the Bible, and I've sought to interpret it in that way. Yes, I do read the Bible indeed, and find it at times puzzling and at times inspiring, but I interpret it in the light of basic Christian principles which existed long before the Bible was ever written, or the New Testament was ever written, I should say. And Augustine said that one should interpret the Bible, other things being equal, in a literal way. But if it contradicted already known Christian doctrine, then one should interpret it in a metaphorical way. And the way he interpreted the Bible was not merely did it conflict with Christian doctrine, but did it conflict with the then contemporary science, in other words, Greek science. And he said that if it did, then if taken literally it did, then we must interpret it metaphorically. And Augustine lived at the time when people were working out which books belonged to the Bible. Another great Christian thinker, in my view a greater one than Augustine, Gregory of Nyssa, who was one of the bishops at the Council of Constantinople, which gave us our creed, our Nicene Creed, and contains the words that God spake by the prophets. In other words, that inspired the Old Testament and so on. And he interpreted a great deal of the Old Testament in ways that we would think was extremely metaphorical. For example, he talked of what was important about what the Old Testament had to say about various enemies on which various prophets were pronounced curses, like Tyre and Sidon and so on. The real point of this was that Tyre represented certain sorts of bad desires and Sidon represented other sorts of bad desires, and what the Bible was really getting at was that we should destroy our bad desires, not that we should destroy the cities of Tyre and Sidon. Now that sounds, looks to us a bit strange. Surely that's not what the original author meant. And of course it isn't what the original author meant. But it is also a biblical doctrine that prophets sometimes didn't understand what they were saying. And I think, as it were, the rather primitive idea of God as backing the children of Israel against various other enemies who had very bad moral standards and very bad doctrinal standards, and they worshipped idols. This intuition is rightly understood by Christians as, in a deeper way, that we have to develop in ourselves a Christian attitude to life and destroy the things in us that are hostile to it. And that comes back, you said, how did the Bible inspire me? Well, yes, the Bible does inspire me, and I read the Old Testament as well as the New Testament. But I do bear in mind that Jesus did not write the Bible. He founded a church, and he told the church to tell people which parts of the Bible were binding on them and which weren't. And one of the things that the first decision of the church about these matters was the Council of Jerusalem, as recorded in the middle chapters of the book of Acts, where the apostles decided that it seemed good to the Holy Spirit and to them, as they put it, that not to require Gentiles to obey the ritual laws contained in the Old Testament. That is to say, they regarded Jesus as having authorized the apostles to tell people what was important in the Old Testament and what was not important. And that tradition has been carried on in the church, and I always interpret the Bible in the light of the church's teaching.